understand what's aiding this optimism, whether these numbers can sustain, and can these numbers actually build on from here or not. We have with us Mr. YS Chakravarti, MD and CEO at Shriram City Union Finance, joining in the show right now. Mr. Chakravarti, great to have you on the show. Good morning, firstly. What a fabulous number it's turned out to be for your disbursements for the month of November. Wanted to understand whether this optimism is going to continue on, or do you sense that this is a one-off aberration that you saw?
Good morning. No, I don't think this is a one-off aberration, but see, it's typical of most of the festival seasons that the demand happens, uptick in disbursements happens. We are actually keeping our fingers crossed because the rural economy is yet to pick up. I mean, it's not yet picked up as expected, so we are keeping our fingers crossed there. And if the rural demand picks up, I think it's we are sure to do a robust disbursement in the Q4. The only thing is, see, this new variant of the virus, there are a lot of reports coming in that it's not as severe. The virus is not as severe as the earlier variants. So that's one a positive note, I think, in the that side. The other issue is, I think, majority of our businesses and people have actually, I think, have come to a conclusion that we need to live with it. We need to take precautions, but we cannot stop what we are doing. So I think on that note, I think the economy also is poised to probably hit the double-digit growth for the year, which should actually help in disbursements.
Interesting. You know, as I look at it, two-wheelers currently account for a good 22% of your AUM mix. Given that you're saying that rural recovery hasn't been as strong as urban, irrespective of us seeing the festival season demand, what can you tell us about the visibility going forward, especially when it comes to the rural markets?
See, I think it will pick up, basically because the agri for Q3 has done quite well. There was almost close to a 4.5% growth in the agri sector. So we feel that, I mean, people are holding back on their purchases probably because of two things. One is the price of the fuel, and also the ticket sizes have gone, the price of the bikes have gone up. So, but I think it should come back now that some of the states have withdrawn, reduced the duties on fuel. So we are expecting a good uptick in the Q4 from the rural area also.
Are you open to financing electric vehicles, especially two-wheeler which are in the EV space, or is there a different dynamics? Because the way you would value the, let's say, the depreciated value of a EV will be very different from the depreciated value of a normal two-wheeler or a four-wheeler.
Yeah, you're very right there. The value of the EV lies in the battery. Once the battery is gone, there is no value for the I mean, very little value for the Hulk. So, see, basically, we are actually funding electric two-wheelers as of now. We have tied up with majority of the manufacturers. We would like to fund them. We would like to do actually contribute our share in that market. Yes, on the credit underwriting, we may have to. We have actually. It's between a personal loan and a asset financing. So you need to tweak your underwriting to suit it, which we have done, and we are funding it. In fact, all our teams are ready. We've been funding for the last 6 months. We've been funding electric two-wheelers. Market is still, I think, probably another 2-3 years we will see sizable numbers, because if you look at November, is the highest ever sales for electric two-wheelers, which is about 50,000 two-wheelers. Whereas you have somebody like Hero Motors manufacturing, selling something like 5.5, 6 lakh two-wheelers. So the volume, I think it will take at least 2 to 3 years before we see big volumes in this space because of the basically nothing but production capacities.
Are you looking at, let's say, coming up with attractive offers with Ola or Ether? Because a lot of banks, when we speak to, they are already tying up with some of the two-wheeler companies, especially in the EV space. Would you be going all out to support this kind of an financing route?
See, we are also in talks with Ola. Hopefully, we should be able to conclude an agreement probably in the next couple of weeks or so. See, I'll put it this way: having a scheme or aggressive scheme in the market is not just the criteria for you to, fund. Um, I think the fun in lending, particularly in a two-wheeler business, is not lending; it is collecting. So we'll have to see how it happens. But as I said, we are geared up. We are the largest player in two-wheeler finance space in terms of number of two-wheelers funded. So it's another, I would say it's another brand, another vehicle for us to fund.
Post-restructuring, how does life change for Shriram City Union Finance?
I'm sorry?
Post the restructuring which has happened at the Shriram Group, how does life change for the entity Shriram City Union, the one which you represent?
Yeah. Nothing, no change. It's business as usual for us. So the change is at the holding company level. That's it. As a probably it could add also it'll also add value because then we have people from different working environments with a long experience now available for us to us for advice, for guidance. Other than that, it's business as usual.
Okay. I just want to get back to the point that you were earlier making to Nikunj's question about EVs in the two-wheeler market. Wanted to understand whether the loan inquiries for electric two-wheelers is now increased. And given that there is an increased influx of two-wheelers, electric ones at that, on Indian roads, do you foresee also a rise in the average ticket loan size as well?
Yes, because they are more expensive than an IC engine two-wheeler. So we think the ticket sizes will go up, number one. Number two is, today, if you look at the market, EV manufacturing space, anybody with a 100, 200 vehicle assembly line today are claiming to be a two-wheeler manufacturer. So we will also have to take a calibrated approach to this. I mean, basically, we'll have to look at, as a financier, look at the antecedents or precedents of the manufacturers, their capability to withstand the market. So we are actually, though we have tied up with all the major manufacturers. So the evaluation of a manufacturer has to be will be very, very closely looked at before we onboard a manufacturer. One. Two is, as I said, there is still a lot of the demand is there, definitely. But as of today, about 75% of the EVs, all two-wheeler EVs which are purchased are bought with own cash. So the financing penetration is still low. It's around 20-25%, whereas for an IC engine, it's anywhere between 50-55%. So I think it's also there. As I said, there are a lot of manufacturers who do not have a proven track record or the promoters. So those we will probably avoid funding. Like we are actually funding today bikes like Ether, Okinawa. We are ready to fund Ola. So Kinetech, we are tying up with Kinetech. So all these, reputed manufacturers, we will be funding.
Mr. Chakravarti, lastly, going forward, do you see your product mix actually changing and perhaps tilting more towards two-wheeler financing? Because as of now, as I see, both your disbursements and AUM mix, the largest pie is small enterprise finance.
No. See, the reason why the mix changed in the last 2 years was that we went slow because of the pandemic, and we went a little slow on funding. We went slow on funding SMEs, but the SME disbursement is on track in Q3. So, over a period of next 18-24 months, we will be back to our. We would like to see our SME at anywhere between 50-55% of our portfolio.
Okay. Mr. Chakravarti, good luck for the future, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Good to have you on the show today.
Thank you.